Oh, 7-star citizens. I forgot that I was doing the intro. How we doing today?
What's up?
Woo!
Welcome back.
Thank you. I finally feel not sick this weekend for the first time in like 3 months.
Nice, nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I just been playing Valheim. I have like
hmm
I had until yesterday I had zero interest in Star Citizen. Now a little bit, which we'll talk about today.
Lovely.
But yeah, not much going on in my neck of the woods. Playoff hockey game coming up today for a team I don't even play for and hate playing for and hate. But there's some guys on the team that I like, so I think this is
No,
my
I will take it.
last game with them basically. So it's a good time to say goodbye to some of the guys.
Fair enough. Fair
Um
enough.
but yeah, it's like I'm playing against kids that are trying to be professional hockey players that are 20 years old and I'm 40 and it's just like come on. I'm over it.
I
Um
mean, that does make it feel good when you get like a sick block on them, or like
yes.
like when you
When you make a
crush them.
play.
It's like,
Yeah, when you make a play against
bro,
these
did a
kids
good job.
that have like aspirations, it does feel somewhat good. But
Mm.
yeah, we played them last week and they murdered us, so that's likely
Ah,
how it will go. But to make the playoffs, I played for this team, and I
mhm.
played the best game of my life. So yeah, scored a
Hell
sick
yeah.
goal, everything. Yeah, so
Nice.
good weekend for me.
Dope.
Yeah, but outside of that, anything in your life you want to talk about before we jump into the SC stuff?
I'm so sick of being sick. I truly am so
Yeah,
sick of being sick.
dude.
No one told me about this, that this would be a thing. That like you send them to daycare and then you're sick every 2 weeks, like clockwork.
Yeah. Dude, one guy was so angry that he was like, "Get a new host." And I'm like, "Whoa, dude, you don't need to be angry for me.
Based.
It's
Nah,
okay.
based.
It's okay.
Um,
I don't want a new
oh,
host."
so bad. The funny thing about it though, without getting into like the super gruesome details, I will say like it was gastro, but I got it late. So like I got home like Friday night from work, and my wife was like, "I think I'm gonna throw up." She did, and then
Uh,
the baby threw up like an hour later. I'm like, "All right, well this is happening." And then I got it. Everything happened to me like 36 hours later. So I was just watching my future 36 hours at a time.
yep.
Yeah.
Awful. Awful, awful. But yeah, that's how I felt about Star Citizen for the last couple weeks.
Yep.
Last week, obviously, we heard 4.9 was going to get delayed. But
Yes.
the roadmap update was like everything in 4.9 was going to be delayed. And 4.9 was basically just going to be a few fixes, quality of life updates,
hmm
and some very minor features that they're leaving as cards on
Yep.
there, calling them features when they're, come on. Sure, they're features technically, but it's like you're padding the roadmap. We know you are.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing major. You're just trying
Yeah,
to make it look like it's a data
exactly.
patch.
There's nothing that justifies the 9 once that
Yeah,
stuff
like it
gets
feels like a
removed, basically.
4.8.4, right? Like,
Exactly. Yes, yes. Perfect way to put it. And that's not the case anymore. We got an ISC this week, and then everything changed. I kind of want to go through like the earlier stuff
hmm
that happened. Um, like the or not the earlier stuff, just the random shit that we don't care about, like subscribe. Let's just get this out of the way. Is
yep.
subscriber promotions are a thing.
hmm
And this was the sneak peek last week, and
Yep.
yeah, I'm just sick and tired of sneak peeks being sales, and that's what it's been. So
hmm
yeah, subscriber promo is the emoto dash bot, which just makes different
Yep.
eyes, and then another weapon, like they always do.
hmm
So that's that. No big deal there. Um, the sneak peek is another sale, but there's something about grays for me.
Yep.
It's not that I would buy the ship or anything like that. I think it's like I love me and Jared agree on one thing and one thing only probably, and it's that this like used future kind of
Yep.
thing. Like this has Jared written all over it, and if it does, it's the best contribution that he's ever made to the game in my opinion, is pushing this idea over and over and over again to the ship team, where
Mm.
it's like we're taking pieces of other ships, putting them together and making something new. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this might be because of the shape on the MFD. We know that is the
Yeah,
shape of the ship, probably. What is this? Like, it's probably amalgamation of a number of other ships that
yeah.
make something new and unique that we're not familiar with. So I'm loving it. I don't know what you think.
It gives no, I'm super into it. It gives like sort of freelancer mixed with Corsair vibes on the MFD.
I feel like it's
Uh,
smaller.
you
I
know,
was thinking,
oh, probably, but I think probably still freelancer size, right? Like based on this cockpit,
I
right?
don't
This is a
know.
oh, maybe not, maybe not, maybe it's not that large of a
People
cockpit, but either
people
way,
might know what the
the
cockpit is and are determining that way and saying,
maybe
like, people are saying Buccaneer in the chat. I don't know.
true, but either way, it looks quite cool. There's also a picture of it on the loading screen in PTU as well. Um,
Oh, is there? Okay, I missed
uh,
that entirely.
yeah. Um, yeah. The cool thing, like, yeah, you mentioned uh if Jared's pushed for this, it's like one of the best things. I think it's just also a very common aesthetic for people to enjoy. Is like the aftermarket salvage or like feels
Especially
salvaged
sci-fi.
kit bash thing. Yeah, 100%. So it's one of the first times when they released the Shiv, and then now they're doing this. It's like one of the first times where they've brought that aesthetic to the game and made it feel quite cool. What I'm hoping is like the Shiv was very clearly as cool as it was and as unique as it was. It was very clearly we took a squadron ship and we've chucked it in, right? Like we had seen things that were very similar looking to the Shiv and whatnot in videos before. I'm hoping this one's actually new, like properly new,
Yeah.
and comes with everything that a new ship does nowadays.
Given
Because
that
the
it
Shiv
was
was missing a lot of features.
yeah, and apparently this was supposed to come last year or earlier this year or something like that, but it got delayed because it
Oh,
needed
interesting.
more effort. And we could
Okay.
tell that the Shiv was low effort in the sense
Yeah.
of it was probably already in Squadron, where this
Mm.
maybe this is too, to be honest,
Well,
but
yeah,
who
it could
knows?
be. It very well
Yeah.
could be, but it's more. I'm just hoping that it's not. But either way, yeah, like you are. The game's all about ships. Obviously, it is, and this is just a area of aesthetic that they haven't explored very much. So it's cool to see sort of that uniqueness come through. Though it's still a bit weird to me that like this isn't in Drake's wheelhouse. I'm okay for it to be its own thing, but like Drake kind of dipped into that like lore wise and aesthetic wise, but
Yeah.
not as much, I guess.
Yeah, it's very close to Drake without being Drake. All right, somebody just
Yeah,
linked to me the
the
image.
loading screen. Yep.
Oh, holy. Okay. I hope that didn't remove you, but I'm bringing it on screen.
I'm
No,
here.
you're still there. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Neat. I completely missed this.
Yeah. So off to the right there. So there's a couple of things that like strike me first, like when you're looking at it.
Drake's taking action. That's important.
Yeah, which that's very funny. Like after what I just said,
Yeah.
Drake is suing. Hey, stop stealing our stuff.
Yeah.
So it looks like a lot longer to me than the Buccaneer does, right? The Buccaneer is a lot more stockier, I guess. And it feels like the cockpit's a little bit larger there, but they're once again hard to tell. The big thing though, the first thing that you notice is that weird long shape on the top there.
What
That
is
doesn't
that?
look
It's a
that doesn't
crane.
look to me like a yeah, it's a crane, right? That doesn't look like a gun. So that's a really interesting one. But I like the design of the engines and where the gun placements and stuff are. So yeah, there you go. A bit more zoomed in. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool looking. This is gonna be an interesting one to check out.
Graze is very cool. Like, it's just such a cool manufacturer. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of guns on it, so I'm not believing that this is anything other than combat, though. Right? Are
Yeah,
you
like it
like
has at least
a
four,
four?
possibly six
And they
guns.
look
Yeah.
large. Oh, six. Yeah, on the sides of the
Possibly six, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, this is combat, and this thing on the top is just going to be aesthetic for sure.
Yeah, but like that's cool. Like why did you put a weird crane part on the top? What's that gonna do, if anything? So
Why not? I guess I don't know. Maybe
yeah,
it pops up.
Structural crane section.
Yeah, who knows? This is interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting looking. It's just such a unique manufacturer to the game, and then
Also,
go ahead.
just quickly, Basher does lend itself towards a combat ship as well, just name wise. But
Of
yeah.
course, yeah. And then somebody earlier mentioned the body kits for the Shiv, and I've been nothing but praising that
Yep.
that idea there. So I like that idea, and I hope they stick to it. So cool,
Yeah.
very cool. The Basher. What else did we have that I wanted to cover? I think that's it.
Yeah, a slow news week, other than the
4.9 stuff.
and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what ISC was. It was 4.9. So I don't big thing is basically at the beginning here, Jared was just like, yeah, so last week we told you we delayed things, and we did.
Yeah.
But we delayed Siege. Oh, let me take the sponsor thing off. I put that up last week. We took Siege and instancing out only is kind of what he implied. Don't know if the super heavy armor is going to make it in or not. That one seems like iffy because it's not committed.
Yeah.
It is on the 4.10 roadmap still. But then again, 4.10 is like this in between. It's like a 4.9.1 anyway, so it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he just kind of goes over the things. Big thing here is Recco Battaglia missions, and a lot of people are like, these are the same shitty ones that we have before. You're right, they are the same shitty ones that we've been doing over and over and over again. And Jared is implying that they're repeatable, but I don't have this post to show right now. But Niku went on Spectrum and was like, by the way, this is just the prelude to the narrative. So read the things, figure out what's going on. These people are attacking miners.
He says that in the IC as well.
Exactly.
He mentions that there's this is the intro to Battaglia, basically.
Yeah. So this is just the setup to the narrative that's coming with it. Sure, but that doesn't make doing the same missions that we've done for 10 years fun.
Yeah.
But okay, fine, no problem. Again, you don't have to do them. Basically do one if you don't want to gain the rep, don't care about the rep or whatever.
Yeah.
Mr. Kraken has been going super hard in PTU and posting in my Twitch chat and on Twitter and all sorts of stuff like that. Oh, we need to talk about this. Yeah, so we're gonna leave that right there. That through earning Recco rep, you're getting a prospector or a golem. So there's ship reputation rewards.
Oh, actually attributed, well, not to your RSI hanger, but to your in-game hanger.
Correct.
That's pretty dope, actually. That's kind of cool.
So golem, prospector, and mole. There he is. He's in the chat. So that's
sweet.
That's pretty cool.
That's dope as well.
And I think possible unique skin with them, if I saw correctly on his Twitter. So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
I'm struggling to be excited by it still.
Sure.
But very cool. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be negative about it. I can't. How is that something I can be negative
it's
about?
It's not a negative thing. It's just not necessarily a super exciting part.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to. Basically, I don't know if it's worth it to grind the rep for it. It's
not for us. It's obviously not for us. Right? So it's really a question of is it worth it for Steve, who only has a Aurora, to start grinding the rep for it? And might be.
No.
Might be worth it.
No, because you can buy the ship by finding a 900 quality gem. One.
Yeah, but the amount of that's what I'm saying. What's the expected amount of time for either of these things to happen?
I think significantly higher to do the rep.
For the rep grinding.
Because missions don't work all the time, right? Things like that. That's why I'm saying it. But Johnny, new player, probably doesn't know anything about UEX and making all that money anyway, right? So there's that.
And I would also argue that speaks more to problems with player trading than it does necessarily to this reward.
As in player trading, the money's too high?
Yeah, but also because that's not really at the moment a system that CIG can balance for, because it's far too aggressive and wild and changes week to week.
Mm,
because they haven't put the systems in place yet. Is worth noting. Like
you
it
know
is a
where I'm
CIG
going.
problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
So that's
more.
what I'm saying. It's a CIG problem, but they cannot fix it without the systems in place. So like,
They could
yeah, how do you
help
balance it?
fix it. You balance it by paying less money for mission rewards, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
like been the big problem. That it's a problem they created, but
Yeah.
but you're not wrong, right? There's other pieces to this puzzle, but a big part of the problem with UEX is the inflation that they create with how much they pay in missions. So
Hmm. Yeah.
that's one of the things that I keep telling them they need to address, but they don't want to address it, and they probably know something more than I do, and I just keep wondering what's happening, and I'll just keep
Yeah.
wondering. Yeah. So cool. On that one, that like nothing really super negative to say about that. It's exciting, to say the least, to
I will
have a
say,
ship actually rewarded to you
yeah.
by your efforts.
Which, because they are doing that now, can we just get one ship? Just one ship that can only be acquired through ref. Just one. Look, we'll pay all the money for all the other ships. Just give me one that
F7A
can only
Mark
be
II is still the
acquired.
closest to that. Like people did buy
Yeah.
it, but right now nobody can buy it, and the only way to get it is that. It's kind of
Yeah.
okay, I guess. Um, we got the Atlas Icti, Domino said in Twitch chat.
So
Should
true.
I ban him? Should I ban him? Should we should we ban that guy? Because he's right, but it's also I think we should ban that guy.
Stop
But yeah,
speaking truth in chat. Get rid of that.
yeah. But unfortunately, yeah, that's something I would love to see. And again, going
Yeah.
back to Grays would have been the perfect manufacturer for that.
For sure, yeah. Especially like
I get it, they got to make their money, but Grays made so much sense to do that with.
is the Grey's aesthetic is also very Nyx aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
Like Levski feels very put together by just random left
Yep.
around things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
All right. How much have you seen of these hit markers, dude?
I've seen lots of videos of people complaining about the hit markers. I
Do
haven't seen
you
them myself in game.
Okay, but like you've heard the
Yeah.
sounds, seen the things.
Yes.
What do
Yes.
you think? What's your opinion? Like I know it's hard. I
So,
haven't used you haven't played it, but
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, without playing them myself, but with seeing tons of videos and stuff with them, I am okay with it. I think the biggest thing is that like the biggest, not necessarily complaint, maybe like suggestion that I've been hearing from the community is just make it optional. And yeah, yes, make it optional. Like I personally have no problem with these sounds. I personally have no problem with these hit markers themselves. But I would much rather people be able to like have that customization option so they don't have to have them if they don't want them.
Okay. I'm gonna jump in and disagree slightly on like obviously they should be made optional, and
Mhm.
I think markers and possibly sounds should be in the game. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the video for a second. We're not gonna hear the sounds in the video, okay?
Mhm.
Um, we can play the sounds, but Croncy won't be able to hear them, I don't think, right? If playing through a video,
But I shouldn't know.
I can
But
possibly play them through my mic if I don't talk. So there's a
okay.
way. There's a way we could do it. But I want you guys to really pay attention to the screen here, and I think markers should exist, but in the way they're implemented, this is it's so bad, and it's bad to the core of weapons, armor, shields, ballistics, lasers. It's the core of Star Citizen that I'm so happy they made the hit markers, because now it shows everything wrong with it. And I hope you guys can
Mm.
recognize it through this video. All right, here we go. Hit marker goes, no, 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 no. And I did a little damage, right? That's the one
Yeah.
right there. This is ridiculous. I'm going to slow-mo it. How many different hits happen in the course of a second in this clip that comes up here? Shield, armor, no damage. What? is that?
Yeah, that's not a problem I've actually heard many people talk about. That is a problem. It's too much information that you like. It's pointless of having, right?
Exactly. What do you
Yeah,
gain from what you just saw there? There was a no hit marker, a shield marker, an armor hit
yeah,
marker, a no. What was that?
yeah. It doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah, so the
So
issue there
yeah,
is the core of the game because it is
mhm,
communicating exactly what's happening perfectly. Whoever did
yeah,
set out the job to say we need hit markers for all these things, you programmed this to perfection. But the problem is that within a second, 5 different hits happened and you gain nothing from that information, right?
yeah,
Nothing. And then on top of that, just think of a Vegas casino floor, and that's what the sounds play like right now.
mm,
There's no way that that's not going to change, right? They could change the sounds easily. Can they change this? Um, I'll shut up in a second. I want to make one like what I would expect things to be. What I
mhm,
expect is that you would see shield, 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 get a shield down sound.
yeah,
Armor, 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 get an armor down sound. Hull, 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 get a ship explode sound.
mhm,
That's like the expectation that you would have from every other video game you've ever played in your entire life.
yeah.
This is ridiculous.
It's too much. It's too much noise, and I mean that not in the actual audio term. I mean too much noise, as in yeah, too much different bits of information are coming in at you at once. I think like there are ways that other games have solved this where they've tried to do something similar, right? Where they're trying to say that like, here's your armor breaking, here's like, you've pen damage or whatever. And the way that they'll do it is like, let's say this example of like when you have ballistics that are going to hit armor, but you're also still going to be hitting shield. The times that you
Yeah.
hit armor shouldn't be very common, right? Maybe one a second, maybe one every 2 seconds or whatever. So what they'll do instead is you'll have your regular baseline hit marker, which in this example would be the blue. And then when you do get like an armor hit, it'll come up, but it'll like stay there for a second. Like
Mm-hmm.
it'll be like, hey, you did get some damage in, and then it like sort of fades away or whatever. So there's stuff that there's things that they could do to change the UI registration of that to solve some of those problems. Um,
But it doesn't solve the root
yeah,
of the problem that ballistics going through shields has like the next conversation we can have is that they had to nerf ballistics because ballistics go through shield, and
mhm,
then like lasers and ballistics are always going to be better if they do slightly more DPS than a laser in any scenario
yeah,
because they go through shields. We did like a little mini ATC this week with Virgil this in the
mhm,
middle of the week talking about that is there's like this core fundamental issue with the way they've designed ballistics versus lasers is and whoever has decided this just doesn't want to give it up. I think is where we're at
yeah,
right now is they don't want to give up this idea that ballistics have to go through shields and or vice versa, however you want to do it, separating them enough that you kind of need
mhm.
both. And we just keep running into this problem. Oh
I
my
feel
god,
like
this guy in your
unironically,
chat,
like,
dude, I don't know what
yeah,
to do. I'm ready
no, no,
to
no, no, no. It's. I'm 90% sure that's sarcastic. Um,
okay. I hope so.
uh, the fuck. Now I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, sorry,
Now
but
I do want to
it's
ban them just for that. Unironically, I think one of the best ways that the CIG have ever done, like information to let you register, like how much damage and stuff I'm doing, is like when you're in Arena Commander and you start getting points because you're actually damaging the hull, right? Like
yeah.
that was a really good way for me to understand. Hey, I have penned through the shield or whatever. Obviously, you can't. Well, you could do it, but you shouldn't do that for an MMO environment of being like, hey, here's some points. But you could do something
I mean,
that's
MMOs do
sort of in a
the
similar vein.
like numbers flying across people's heads, but I mean, that's
Yeah,
also a thing
I
that
feel like
people are pretty critical about MMOs about like, ooh, this is
yeah,
I don't like that
and
or
and
it's hard to read.
I think we, as much as I do often like say that I don't like things, when people are like mad about you know losing immersion or whatever. I do think that would be a step too far for this game in particular. But you could do
Oh yeah,
something. You could do some type of effect that shows it off without being, well, like here where it's too noisy. Once again, I don't mean literally audio noise. I mean just as in too much information at once.
yeah.
Um, yeah, there'd be a way to do it.
Yeah. I'm just there's the best thing is what you said is there's too much noise, and it's visual, it's
Yeah.
audio, it's too much information, and it's too much information because the core of the game is too much. There's too much happening with the weapons at any time. If we changed it to
Yeah.
say, only the shield icon shows up, but then you didn't know that you actually pen through their armor. And it's like, again,
Yeah.
maybe we should simplify the system a little bit and make it less complex. Like the moment you take lasers cannot go through shields, but ballistics
Hmm.
can, but then they both can do armor damage. One is infinitely better than the other. And we've been telling them this forever, and then they just keep making um the same mistakes. And that's where I want to kind of this has been an interesting week because we see the length of Star Citizen development time. We've
Hmm.
actually we've made balance changes that we've made in the past because new people now work at the company and are making the same
Yeah.
balance mistakes that happened 5 years ago. We're like, no, okay, the C788s right now are the strongest weapons in the game. We've been here already. We've
Yeah.
already done this, guys. We've already done this, and they're doing it again. And it's one of those things where I just go, okay, so we've gone all the way for full circle multiple times with ballistics, lasers, and Star Citizen players continue to do the same thing. What's the most DPS? Okay, I'm just going to put all of those on my ship.
Hmm.
And the moment that ballistics are the most DPS, it's game over. It's not even close because they pen through shields. So
Yeah.
something has to give where a major change has to happen. I'm not a game developer. I don't know. I just, from a player experience, something has to give there. I'm not going to tell them what to do with. I don't know, but it's very clear to me that ballistics are a huge problem because they're just too strong, and lasers are just there to take shields down, and shields don't do enough, and who knows? So
It feels like
it's just
they've
to
always
say
tried
something's got to
to
give.
they've always tried to sit back on the like, yeah, the balance is supposed to be like the amount of time that you're spending on rearming or whatever. But that's just not, it just hasn't been relevant enough in the game for it to be a thing. And it's also not a fun way to balance them either. Like,
What armor?
no, 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 no. Like they they have often said that, like, the one of the big differences between ballistics and lasers is just like, well, ballistics are finite, right? You're gonna have to go and
Oh,
rearm that sort
yeah,
of stuff, and that is one, not a fun way to balance that mechanic,
yeah, yeah.
because it's just like, hey, you're still gonna be like, for the amount of time that you're actually playing, you're still gonna be crazy powerful,
Hmm.
and then you just have to take a rest period every now and then that rest period is really boring. That's not a fun way to do it. What I would have actually maybe have preferred they did in the first place instead of something like that, or at least not as aggressive, is like, why are lasers just default they do this? Why are lasers not partially distortion? Why
like
is that its
like
own
multiple
little thing,
damage
right? Like,
types.
yeah, like why have you made it that you've got ballistics that do this special thing, and you often make them more powerful, right? More damage. And then you've got lasers which are just kind of like, hey, you don't have to rearm, the end. That's it. It feels like they've got this core philosophy on how they want these different ammo types to be. And that's the problem, is like you haven't made that part more enjoyable, I guess. Um
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I would argue with you on is I forgot what it was. It doesn't really matter. It was a very minor thing anyway. Uh,
Sure.
but yeah, it's just something's got to give, and I don't know what it is. It's yeah, more damage types would mean
Yeah.
more hit markers. Not necessarily, not necessarily, because all you really need to know is, are shields up still, or are
Mhm.
shields down? Is armor up, or is armor down? Like, that's honestly
Yeah.
what information players need to know. Like if we go and look at like games like Apex, and this is being designed from an FPS game very clearly, right? And we
Yep.
didn't have any. This is kind of our problem. This is kind of our fault in a lot of ways. We didn't fight enough on the FPS thing because the FPS. This is exactly what we already have in the FPS aspects of the game, right? We get the double for a head marker or for a headshot, and you know we get a kill sound and stuff like that. But that's because it happens like this. It's like 2
Mm.
seconds and the fight is over. So you've gotten all the
Yep.
feedback you needed and then it's done, right? And this is like because the ship stays alive so long, it's like bop, 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 bop. It's
Yeah.
just like it's so much noise and so many. There's all this extra stuff there, like you said, too much noise in terms of visually as well. So it's just something's weird there that again I can't fight it enough that it should just be like you get through the shields, then you get through the armor, and then you get
Yeah.
through the hull. And we don't need to do this pen thing necessarily. And then your lasers can be good against shields, your ballistics can be good against armor, or flop them, switch them. And then,
Yeah.
you know, maybe your hull is some combination of the two. And then all of a sudden, like players are using um different loadouts, and like then you have
Yeah.
explosive
Exactly.
damage that also damages components on the inside. Like I think that's what they want to get, but then
Mm.
they keep having this issue because
They.
oh, I remember you said
Yeah.
that ballistics are often like more powerful. Well, the one thing that I wanted to like add to what you said, not disagree, add to what
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
said was they often have to nerf ballistics
Mm.
because they're too strong. So ballistics are like
Yeah.
never fun because they're too strong. And like I
Yeah.
think people like ballistics because it's like, oh, the sparks that come off the ship when you use them, the
Mhm.
sounds that they make. People want to use them, but they also don't want them to be the way that they are currently were where they were just overly used. So I've always just wanted there to be
Yeah.
lasers on my ship and ballistics on my ship, and why and have a reason to use
Mhm.
both. Or even more so what you said, where like we can have lasers that have multiple damage types and then we use them in certain scenarios. Like these are all
Yeah.
just experiences we've had in other games, and they just want to be different again. And it's just like we don't need to be different. You've already done the thing that's different. You are already an
Yeah.
amazing game. Ships are beautiful, planets are amazing, you know, scale, all that stuff. You've done it already. Just keep it simple from there, and you have an amazing game. But
Yeah.
they just don't want to do that.
Yeah. I think your example of like if you just made it so that it was like you have health pool A, health pool B, health pool C, you your lasers do more damage to A, your ballistics do more damage to B, and so on.
Yeah,
If bringing it back to something simple like that allows you to bring back the complexity in other ways. I think that's a really important
exactly.
thing to note, right? So
Yeah,
if they did bring it back to that sort of stage, you can also start implementing, well, I put a shield on that's much, much better against ballistics. So
yep,
if someone does come in the ballistics build, it's going to be harder for them to get to my hull. If they do, I'm going to die, but it's going to be harder for them to get to that hull,
yeah.
and that sort of stuff,
It
right?
gets it gets
And
so
that's
crazy.
cool.
Because then
Yeah.
you could go to Hathor and scout. You could scan their ship.
Yeah.
What weapons are they using? What shields are they
Yeah. What
using?
builds do I need to be bringing
Yeah,
myself?
what do I need to bring? What do I need to defend myself? And then you go
Yeah.
and take it over. That's where the layers of the game can be. But if you keep it
Mhm.
simple there, the layers are I know and you don't, or you know and I don't. And that's when things get cool. But
Yeah.
yeah. Um sorry for being
Yeah.
so
There's
negative during this feedback conversation.
I think it's really
Loser.
worth sometimes, especially with these kinds of features, that like uh, they just feel like they need like a change like that or whatever. Every now and then, I'd love to see CIG just go like, all right, let's have a bit of a is it moratorium? That's probably not the right word, but like let's have a look back. How do we feel about this mechanic as a whole? And do we think it needs to change based on the fact that the game has changed over the course of the last 4 years?
Yeah.
And they do that with some things, but it feels like combat, like there's a couple of things like this that have just never changed. They've kept it exactly the same since like
Exactly.
2016. They've
It's like
changed
yeah,
other stuff, right?
they
But like
refuse
they've
to come
changed
off
like
this idea.
missiles. They've changed the power consumption a couple of times, all that sort of stuff. They've just never the core way that they want ship weapons to work has been exactly the same the whole time. And it's like once again, just speaking of like ballistics, like when you as a player, even if you're not going like super meta or whatever, if you as a player, when you are using ballistics, do you yourself feel like, you know, that couple of extra pens is doing enough for you to like feel like it's worth it. I feel like most of the time, not really. Like you're not really feeling the amount of damage that penetration is doing over the course of the fight. Like most of the time, you're just like, cool, the shields are down. I can do real damage now. You know,
I think it matters for sure because
it does,
you're
but does the player feel like it does during the fight? I don't think so.
depends. I guess it depends on um the skill and knowledge of the player, probably, right? Like in
Yeah,
high level PvP fights, like obviously
yeah,
this is the edge that they want.
hmm
But like, dude, C788s, I'm one shotting ships.
yeah,
So you can't one shot a ship if you have to get through their shield first, like for example.
yeah.
So you can arguably see it, but yeah, there's that. I don't know. In the end, give feedback on the hit markers. There's a feedback thread
hmm
somewhere. If anybody has the link, I don't have it right now. It's something that I meant to grab and still haven't yet for we can review in this. Feel free to post it in the chats and we can like cross post it into YouTube because a lot of people have opinions about this. CIG is going to heavily weight the feedback post or thread or
hmm
whatever they're using over anything else, most likely. So make sure you put your feedback there. CIG doesn't care about this podcast necessarily, right? In that case, there you go. There's appears to be two threads on the on two different discussions that
hmm
we had just now. So make sure that you get in there and give your feedback and be heard. Right? That's one of the
yeah,
themes of this podcast. Is it's not just the two of us and our opinions; it's everybody's that we try
hmm
to push to the top there. And yeah, doesn't seem like too many people are disagreeing with us.
yeah.
But
No.
yeah, it's hard to. It's a little ridiculous. But again,
hmm
I want to make sure that I like that's the point that I was trying to make. It doesn't appear to be the hit markers that are necessarily the problem. It's how the guns work that are
Yeah.
causing the problem with the hit markers. I don't see an issue with hit markers necessarily, but it's how the guns work. We were watching ISC. I don't know if
hmm
there was anything else there that we wanted.
The main
Oh,
the main thing
yes,
I want to talk about from ISC, which oh yeah, the sound's coming back. Dope, sweet. It's like one of
sweet,
my favorite things about when you're doing like ground
yeah.
what would you call them? Ground activities, whatever.
And this was
Is
amazing.
sick. Yeah, yeah,
They did a really good job of making the larger ship feel like it was
yeah. I
perfect.
feel like there's a lot of air moving type thing,
Yeah, it was
like
perfect.
the big whoosh type thing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the thing that sort of got me is like, yeah. So obviously, 4.9 is going to be next month. So,
Yes.
sorry, this month is like next week. Um, so we have a July major patch. Not quite. It
4.8.4, but
once
yeah.
again, like we said, a dot four. But then August is 4.10, and then September tentatively, even Jared basically said tentatively, 4.11. So two major patches back to back in a year where it was supposed to be major patches every 2 months. Um, that's really interesting to me.
Yeah. Um hold on, carry the conversation a little bit cuz I'm going to type to the guy in your chat that was yelling at me and I'm going to say something nice and it's just
Um,
not for the podcast.
yeah, uh, yeah, like it's just a weird change of pace. It is coming up to like while we aren't getting a Citizen Con, we obviously know some Squadron stuff is happening in October, and I imagine after they do the little like creator summit thing that they're doing or the community summit thing that they're doing, that like the week after that or 2 weeks after that or something, we might get some sort of presentation from them. But once again, probably Squadron related. So it's like, why are we getting a 4.10 and a 4.11 right after each other? In this year, that's where that's not supposed to happen, right? Where they've been very against
Cuz it's just a
the major
number.
patches back to back.
Just a number convention, I think. It's
Uh,
it
it is, but like it matters in terms of the release cadence and like the actual amount of work that some of these people have to put in, right? Like what's 4.9 feels like just a number. 4.10 feels hefty. 4.11 is starting to feel hefty, although there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be announced
we'll
for
hear
it,
more
presumably.
about, yeah.
Um, that's all. It's just strange to me that they would change that. If CitizenCon was happening, it wouldn't be strange to me. If that makes sense. Like because it is very classic. I feel like for them to do these big content patches just before a Citizen Con and sort of rush them out. So what's the deal? What's going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Because it also means
clearly,
like they're going to be janky. Like two major releases back to back. That's janky. So
yeah. Well, no matter what, we're going to get jank with instancing. There's no
yes,
doubt about it. They
yeah,
can delay any patch they want. It's gonna come in jank. Like there's
mhm,
no stopping that. There's gonna be issues, right? And
yeah,
it's just a matter of how willing they are uh to do what they did for 4.9 to get things
mm,
feeling good and feeling right, and what their standard of acceptable is for live.
mhm,
I still firmly believe fuck it and just send it and just go, because again, of what we a lot of the things that we talked about today is this game at its core has so many issues, from being entirely too old to just bad ideas to
mhm,
no none of this feature being implemented at all that needs to be. Like there's just things missing, things broken, things not well thought out, right? Or so on, that all need to happen. And if you don't do that, like when you do those things, you will bring in instability. And then when you decide not to do those things because you're trying to maintain this soulless, in a lot of ways, experience that we have right now, um, you got to finish the game at some point. And the longer they push this out, the more ships they have to sell. The more ships they sell, the more problems we have, and
yeah.
it just keeps going. So, for
The small amount that I'll push back on and the reason that small amount is because it actually may not have enough of an impact to be relevant for the argument. Is like you yeah push it out as quickly as you can to a point, because
to
there's
a
a lot of
point,
things
for
that need
sure.
to be tested that if it gets pushed too hard, you can't test it in the first place because everything's busted, right? But like, where is that? Like, are they already doing that? Possibly they could, and in the past with certain patches, that probably feels like the case where they have pushed it to just the level where you've been able to test everything to some point.
Yeah,
Um, but I get you. I understand the point, I
yeah.
guess.
It's just the game needs a lot still, and if you don't
Yeah.
do it, it's never going to happen. And that's just
Mhm.
it. Um, do you want me to tell you about the mining stuff now?
Yeah, you said mining is fixed, perfect, and it's actually the best mining's ever been, and that we all win a mine now. That's what you
Oh,
said
I
to me.
mean that is largely true now, believe it or not. Like, you're
Sweet.
being sarcastic, but it's largely true. Let me find my video is all I got. And I think I found the perfect spot. Yeah. Okay. So, almost the perfect spot. We're coming up to it. There we go. So, watch the video. I
Mhm.
ping, boom, without holding scan.
Yep.
Immediately, it says raw ice.
Yep. What
Immediately
distance
says
is this
raw
at,
ice.
roughly?
Uh, 8K. Now, people are saying up to
Yeah, sweet.
20K.
Cool.
They're probably
Yep.
doing asteroids. On planets, it's a little different. It's harder to get
Sure, sure.
20K out for a rock.
Yeah,
Because I think there's
notably
a
not within 1 kilometer, which is
correct.
basically what it has been. Yeah.
Correct. So, and if you look, I'm at 45-degree angle only, right? I'm not
Hmm.
like dialed in. So when you ping, it does all of the things instantaneously as it does when you would hold the left click and do I gotta,
Yeah.
lower the angle and all that stuff, right? Cool. That's a good start. So now I know, like, hey, I'm looking for raw ice. I go to raw
Hmm.
ice. So that's part number one that saves time on mining.
Yep.
Part number two, I can skip ahead for. Every single rock, in this case, I don't think it was actually, um, which is odd. This might have been just an anomaly or whatever. Yeah, like I had to scan this for some, maybe because I pulled my laser away or whatever. But every single rock is already scanned,
Lovely.
right? So um
The content immediately.
the content immediately, and the quality. So I find a
Hmm.
922 raw ice, and I'm like, ooh, 922. Even though it's PTU, I want to mine this, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I mine it and I break it and I ping. I should ping immediately after breaking it. I think I did this with this rock. If you ping immediately after breaking, yep, there it is. Everything is scanned. So I don't have to scan each
Yeah.
individual rock anymore. That's the biggest change for me. Is the
Hmm.
ping just now I know the contents of every single piece of this rock. Done.
Yeah.
Done. Amazing. No, like that is the best fix to scanning that we've been begging for I mean 3 years, 4 years possibly. Like
Yeah. It
this
removes a
cuts
lot of
down
dead time.
exactly. Now, I think there's still a lot of issues with the idea of an introduction of quality, and there's 300 quality that we
Mhm.
can't really use, and 900 quality that we all want, but it's super rare. There's lots of feelings and things that they want to gate us from having the best
Yeah.
stuff, but I don't know if this is the best way to gate us from it. So there's still
Mm.
more work to do. Um, but damn, that's pretty solid. Plus, they boosted every mining laser their power up by
I saw
20%.
that. Yeah.
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 So that means like less rocks that are impossible and so on. So
Yeah.
lots of help. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Cool.
I
I think it's important to note as well, like the amount of time that removes also feels like
significant.
more than it actually is. Like the actual amount of time you save there, this is a good thing. Like when you're
Minutes
actually just
per
it'll
node.
be minutes over a course of like, but that's the thing. It's minutes over like the course of an hour, but that feels huge when
Yeah.
you're actually doing it.
Well, I mean, like
So,
if you're gem mining,
mhm,
it's minutes per thing of gems that you find. Like gem
sure,
mining, this is huge for give it
mhm,
like there was like 4 ice things. So you could scan 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're pretty quick to be like, don't want, don't want, don't want. All right,
yeah,
next. But gems, it's like there's like 20 of them there. And it was
mhm,
10 to 30 seconds to scan each gem to know if you wanted it. Now it's
yeah.
instantaneous. So that's a big time saver, right? I guess I mostly do gems, so maybe that's why I'm super excited for it.
Yeah. It's
But
more
yeah,
importantly than anything, it is more time spent doing the actual mining mechanic than a honestly what feels like unfinished scanning mechanic.
yep, which is what we asked for. Niku's here
Yeah.
in the chat, so I'll just repeat what he said. We have a lot of quality of life improvements and fixes for 4.9, 4.10, 4.11. So if you have cool ideas, feedback, now is a great time to post it on Spectrum and socials so we can review them for future updates. We have cool fixes and improvements for 4.9 already. And you know, Niku's a legend. He's going out there and
Mhm.
getting this stuff and then also I don't know if we were around to discuss this because you were sick. The initiative from SCL of we are doing, you know, the player experience team has more power, basically,
Yeah, yeah, a couple weeks
right.
ago. Yeah.
So those are the guys who are often gathering this in conjunction with people like Niku, I think, and
Mhm.
are now they're making the list of what's a priority. So your voice can actually be heard now, and yeah,
Yeah.
definitely sound off on those hit markers, guys. they're
Yeah.
if they're listening, make sure you say it. So,
Quality of life update request, Niku. Can you just make it that everyone that I fight dies? That'd be great. Thanks, Ty.
yeah. Can you make every rock that I mine 900 plus quality? There we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If we could make, but only mics. Like I want quality to matter for everyone else, not for me.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for the mining change, uh,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
we'll see what that does, and then yeah, more needs to happen for sure. So
Yep.
that's all I have for the week. I don't know if anything else popped in your
Yeah.
mind that you want to talk about.
No, not so much. I think we covered pretty much everything that, well, I was aware of at least that happened this week.
Cool.
Uh, I did some Xeno threat event today. It was fine. The servers are a bit rough at the moment. The first like few missions I jumped on, uh, just NPCs didn't wake up for like 5 minutes, so they just sat there and got shot. We did
Yep.
then 30k, like actual 30k. It's the first 30k I've had since server recovery came in.
I thought 30K was
Um,
gone.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Oh, you reminded me
But then
to
after
mute it.
that, the server was perfect. Like they were working up immediately, so that was good. Um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of one of those weeks.
All right. Well, I'm ready for calls if you are. We actually have more people in the room than I thought we were going to have. So,
Yeah,
um,
100% ready for calls. And
let's
if
jump
you
it.
want to call in, we might have room for one more person today. But if you want to call in even in the future, go into the description below if you're watching on YouTube, heading to the Discord and go to the green room. If you're over on Twitch, go !podcast and do the same thing.
All right. And we got StemPec on the line to start out. So, StemPec, what do you want to talk about, man?
How you doing, Stempa?
Hello, hello. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, great.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I got moved sooner than expected.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, I think first about the hit markers. My first thoughts were a bit negative, but the more I
Uh-huh.
think about it, I mean, I see it now as a little part in a maybe larger system. We don't know
Mhm.
because there isn't much communicated about it. If it's solely for, do you know if you penetrate or not? Sure, an indicator is nice. But my larger thought is from a PvP perspective, not much Star Citizen PvP currently because I don't like the balance. More
Sure.
from I play mostly War Thunder, Counter Strike, and other games currently.
Mm-hmm.
I have different thought processes. I look at the target and I don't really think too much about what I just did. I think more about what is my next move. So I want more information about the target and not so much information about what I just did, because if I'm good at the game, I should already know what I just did. Like,
Sure, but in your case, you would probably be the guy who would turn off the sounds and maybe turn off the hit markers. But I, I think the I think they felt like they needed to do these hit markers because you didn't know when you were penetrating armor and
yes,
when you were.
Yeah. Yeah, like I,
that,
I like the information that is being given, as in the information itself I like. And I
Correct.
was okay with the hit markers pretty much until Mike showed that video where it was 20 different hit markers in 5 seconds. That was like a big problem. Like, well, the information I want, I am now not getting because it's too much.
Yeah,
And
if you used
yeah,
lasers, you wouldn't have that experience. But because they showed it
yes,
with ballistics, you got every single hit marker possible within a 1 second period. It was just like,
yeah, and
whoa.
that's just not helping me remotely. That's
No.
completely doing the opposite of what I wanted to do.
Yeah, which again
yeah, but
is the opposite of the initiative period. So
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
think about it.
I think in this case about War Thunder, because
Mhm.
you die really fast in this game. And most of the time when you gather information about why did I die, you don't do it in the actual session. You go
Yeah.
back in the menu, you maybe Google some things and think, okay, that radar missile works that way. Okay, so that's why I died. And sure, yeah, now have 5 different markers. But yet I kind of have the expectation that someone, like, after seeing this, goes back into the hangar and thinks, okay, why do I get penetration and in the same instant non-penetration markers? Like
Yeah.
what is going on with my loadout? And I kind of like that because it requires thought. Thought is good in a game, I think.
Sure, but you
But
can't do anything with your thoughts. You can't make a decision to change what happened on that screen.
yeah, sure. In this case, if you come with a bad loadout to a fight, and sure, if it's against an NPC, you might win. Yeah, but if it's an higher stake PvP fight, I mean, I kind of have the thought you already lost when you entered unknowingly the fight, kind of.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just like, yeah, battle hardened, suffered enough to like the suffering in this case. I don't know. I can understand if a more casual player says, what the hell, can I get information? That is also what I mean. You need, I think, and but that's a complete different system in this case. More information about your target, like what is actually going on the ship you're shooting. What is maybe another player doing to that ship? Like you don't always play
Mm.
with actual mates. You sometimes maybe it's just factions. You know, you see someone from a faction engaging to other hostiles, and you think we don't have like levels or a ranking system, so you don't know what kind of guy you're helping right now. If he's a pro player, or maybe it's his first session, and you risk your whole loadout because some level 1 engaged, I don't know, another pro
I would
player.
say on that point, I wouldn't want that information to be in the game. That sounds much more like a arena commander thing that I would maybe want,
Sure, yeah.
right? Where it's like, yeah. But to your point of like, what other ships are doing, like, yeah, the only information I get when I am like in a gunfight, even against NPCs, players, whatever, really is hit markers and then the MFD. And the MFD only displays damage, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea how much my friend has been hitting and like what side they've been hitting or any information about that. Some way to get that information would be nice. Yeah, I don't know. There's in some cases there's definitely a lack of information.
Again,
Maybe that other.
I can't like say it enough to just have either bars or
Mm.
like, just like what their health is at. I think that's just
Mike, hear me out. Okay, because this wouldn't ruin the UI aesthetics that much. So you target the ship, and they got 3 circles around them:
yeah.
shield, hull, and then like I don't know, like component damage stuff or something on the third
The
one.
the crazy thing
You
is
know?
CR did this in his Wing Commander games. Like
Yeah.
this was in Wing Commander. There was shield
Mm.
and then there was armor, and you would watch them go down. And then the hull would be the color coded system.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but still, um
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know why we went away from that, because he was the first probably to do this, and it worked, and it worked. It
Mm.
was timeless. It worked forever. Why would we change it? We changed it.
Yeah.
I think it's largely probably the lack of armor on the HUD is because
Mm.
armor didn't exist in the game for 14 years.
Yeah. Fair.
So they made all these HUDs without it. Even though they knew it was
I
going to be
also
there,
yeah.
they made all these HUDs without it.
I also want to address
Questions.
like because a lot of people have been talking in the chats about the MFDs and stuff. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. I don't like that the MFD is like the only way that you can get that information, because I'm not looking at the MFD when I'm shooting at someone. I'm looking at the ship I'm shooting.
Correct, which is
And
why the
having
markers
yeah.
were like a decent idea, but
Yeah, it was like it
implemented.
was something to give me that information. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Once I am finished that volley or whatever, I can look at the MFD and get some information from it there. But immediate feedback is really, really important for like this kind of combat.
Yeah, for sure. Stempec, we're going pretty long here, so I would say last thoughts. What do you want to?
No, I think
say?
that was pretty much what I mean with the ranks. Is like I
Mhm.
don't want ranks displayed. I want just to see what the other players kind of doing. So maybe he has another idea, like he targets the cooler instead of the power plants, and maybe if I help him with that, we bring the coolers down. Like actual more information about the
Mm.
targeted ship
Got it.
and about the different components, because they kind of want to go in that direction. So they need to give more information, but I think they really need to evaluate what kind of information they want to give the player, and maybe make it more customizable. Maybe let us make the markers smaller, less sounds, and yeah, and Croncy is completely right. You need more information, like that you actually see in front of you, not on the MFD. Or maybe Mike said it. Like the MFDs are way too small. They're
Yeah.
moving. You maybe have a head tracker, and maybe you need kind of an infrared or something, like more information on the ship you're actually targeting, like
Mm.
like a holo view or something. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
will
but
say if CRG want like precision targeting mode to be interesting and useful, one of the examples you just used would actually be really cool. Like it would probably only be relevant for your larger ships and stuff, but like if when I went into precision targeting mode and I'm looking at a hammerhead or something, and I can see, you know, like this is how much damage it's taken from a player or whatever, but I can only see it in that mode to like sort of make it a little bit more interesting. Sweet.
But
right? It gives me that information in those larger battles where that's relevant.
but maybe give it free mode, so I can actually, when I normally fly, activate just the viewing, and the precision targeting is like a third mode where I zoom in and, I don't know, for long range or sniping or something. But like in the normal flying, like that you can just press a button and you now have this more information, but you can still fly normally around and you just see it on the ship you're targeting. But yeah, I think the
You
markers
could even
are
simplify. You could even simplify it, like the
yes,
information that you get. Like yeah, cool. Like I'm in scanning mode. I scan the ship. It tells me their radar locked by 4 ships. Sweet. That's awesome information for me to get. That would be fantastic in a large like combat situation. It tells me, this bit has been damaged this much or whatever. In like an actual percentage value too, not just like the colors or whatever. So there's certain ways that you could make it where it doesn't break a lot of stuff that the game's already doing, I guess.
yes. But maybe the markers are just the first stepping stone, and we get much more in the future. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on.
All right, StemPec, thank you,
Always
man.
nice.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
push you out.
Good
My
one.
major admin of my Discord just got hacked, so I'm trying to kick him out of the Discord right
Love
now
that.
so I don't lose it. So you start the next call, all right? Whose name is
All right,
Even
will do.
Saltier Mike? I don't know what their actual name is.
Even Saltier Mike, how are we doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh,
it's Hudson.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. I was like getting ready to kick this guy. I was like, who the fuck is this?
How's it going?
Good.
Good.
Well, was
What do you wanna
good.
talk
Now
about
I don't
Uh,
know.
Well, you kind of took the wind out of my sails earlier with your dual or multi-loadout suggestion. In regards to having regards to having the 3 different taking down shields versus armor, just kind of that layered defense kind of thing. But it got what I was gonna ask is, are you guys familiar with like Star Wars lore and how a lot of their ships work?
No.
Not that deep, no.
Okay. Well, it's kind of pertinent to this because they have in Star Wars, like they have ray shields and particle shields. So ray shields stop lasers and whatnot, and the particle shields stop projectiles and whatnot. And it'd be just
So
kind of
2 different
interesting if you
kinds of
had,
shields.
yeah.
And what if you can combine them?
Well, that's the thing. It's like a lot
Yeah.
of the ships in Star Wars they have both. So you have to target if you have like for example, like when they're taking down the Star Destroyers, they use their missiles to take down like the ray shields because the missiles just pass completely through ray shields. So they take out the ray shield, the particle shield generator, and then they use the lasers to take out the particle shield generator. And then they're able to actually do damage to the ship. And then that kind of couples with you could have specialized weapons. I mean, we kind of already have that now with like distortion weapons and whatnot, where they have they do more damage to they do more EM damage, which that could be attributed to dealing more damage per se to shields, but it's essentially effectively useless against doing hull damage, whereas lasers, they still do damage, the hull damage or whatever.
Could work. I mean, in the end, I just want to see a world where we use both. And I think that's probably a decent solution. The problem with shields, though, is shields go down super quickly in the game. So that's another thing that's not very sci-fi of Star Citizen is shields are like up for half a second. So like, what are they don't play a big enough role in the game either. Like I would go less armor, more shields, and then combine that with something else probably.
It's kind of weird the way that they kind of have it now. It's kind of like how they have the it's the Chiss Ascendancy ships where they're primarily reliant on the armor and then and spectrum lasers or traditional lasers, whereas we have these encapsulated plasma bolts or whatever. And So the armor in for the Chiss Ascendancy, it's really super thick and whatnot, and they have these shields that specifically tune to block certain frequencies of lasers. So you have to use these acid missiles to darken the hole, and then tune your lasers to penetrate the shield, and then the darkened armor absorbs more energy, which causes the armor to melt and whatnot, and blah blah blah. It's probably a little too deep for Star Citizen, but I mean that's
Yeah, because you don't
but,
have
like,
to
there's-
play Star
it-
Wars necessarily.
It is,
You
but
just watch it.
like once again, there's some like interesting parallels that you could use. Shields that are better against size 3 or size 4 weapons, right? Like they tune into that frequency and they have better protection against those. Like if you simplify the baseline of how these weapons work, you can bring back the complexity in all these other ways and then allow for more variation in how people build, right?
right. And that would
Without
be
having
kinda
some of these weird problems where it's like, well, cool, but like the simplifying would make it so that one weapon type isn't OP all the time, whichever one it is. Instead, you now have balancing across like your actual. And people are gonna hate it, but it's your stats. You balance across your stats, where we're now balancing percentage increases, percentage decreases. That's way easier rather than trying to mess around with, hey, the mechanic itself is what's making this too OP.
Yeah.
and hopefully there's multiple meta loadouts instead of just like a singular meta loadout.
Or yeah, regardless of what they do, that has to be the case. Is like having
Right.
like even if one thing is the best, the second best has to be like within a percent type thing.
Yeah. And then they could tune all the weapons to be kind of similar to one another, but minor differences, not like these huge differences that they have now. Like personally, I'm a fan of like the Kronegs. But as it stands right now, they're pretty much just useless. Whereas, I mean, maybe like a higher rate cannon or whatever is less accurate. Its spread is more is greater, or they should all be like within like a couple percent of one another, depending on what you're wanting to do, or maybe this particular laser cannon or laser does this kind of damage versus that kind of damage. That it's kind of like with Eve, where you have the different lenses, right? You have the infrared versus ultraviolet, that changes in ranges, engagement ranges, and whatnot, or just different types of ammunition.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would love to see, but nobody wants Star Citizen to be anything like Eve. They get so worked up, so I just like don't even bring it up anymore. But yeah.
Well, I mean, they don't have to do like the specialized ammunition. They could essentially kind of do that with the weapons, with each company having their own particular flavor. Like, I wasn't around when they were when they were first introduced, but from what I read, the attritions, their particular thing is the hotter that they get, the faster they actually become.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, they were cool.
And
Never
that
quite
was,
worked.
that was their.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, stuff like unique attributes kind of like that to make each company kind of stand out.
Yep. Yeah, and then you could do resistance types for each ship company if you wanted as well.
Yeah.
Right.
But
that's basically it.
Okay. And sorry, I was a little distracted. He's a moderator in like this Discord, my org's Discord, so I had to go through everything, and I can only do it on my phone because how you see Croncy is on my Discord. So I had to do all that moderation on my phone. That was crazy. Yeah. So sorry, I was a little distracted, but I stayed as paying attention as I could. Even SaltEMike.
Did Frosty get his Mr. Beast giveaway? That's the important thing that we're all asking about.
That's the second guy in my Discord that Mr. Beast giveaway that clicked it. Guys, Mr. Beast is not going to give you anything, okay? Just buy the chocolate and that's it.
Very small tangent. The Answer Call Discord, we've had like 12 this week. My Discord's had a bunch. Every Discord that I'm in, like I've never seen a spam bot like hacker thing happen this much.
Yeah.
On Discord.
So it's probably not a dodgy link. It's probably something else, is what I would say. Because people aren't. There's no way there's that many stupid people that click that many dodgy links, I would say. I mean, there are.
Yeah, especially because, guys, I've already won the Mr. Beast giveaway, so stop clicking.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's bring in our next caller. Hopefully
Let's do it.
he's not a giveaway clicker.
Darkness.
Hello, Mr.
How you doing,
Darkness.
Mr. Darkness?
Well, we can hear Darkness. We can hear ourselves.
Nice. Hello. Can you hear me
Hello.
now without having yourselves?
I hope so.
Yes, seems good.
Okay, good. Won't take too much of your time. Just gonna say that I just had a thought about the whole situation with all the hit markers and stuff.
Mhm.
Just a thought. Why couldn't they make it something more simple with the lasers and ballistics and stuff? So, for instance, it's just a small, idea. For instance, why couldn't ballistics be deflected by the shields, but still have a chance to go through the shields and hit directly the hull? So when you would make your loadout, you would use both lasers and ballistics. If you're in a single ship, you would have less chance of actually penetrating, actually like taking down in time. And if you just have full ballistics, you would have to waste a lot of ammo with the percentage of having those ballistics be deflected.
Yeah. So just quickly, you're saying as opposed to ballistics damaging essentially shields and with the chance of hitting the hull, you're saying don't damage shields at all, but then have a chance at hitting the hull.
Yes, pretty much, kind of like that. So you risk wasting all of your ammo to not completely destroy the ship or just to damage its armor or the hull, but like not being able to completely like take it down. And for instance, for lasers, they would be effective against shields, but would be I think they actually did that earlier. Like way less effective against the hull and maybe the armor and the hull, but more effective against the shields. So you would have options to combine like those loadouts. So when you are done with the shields, you just output more of it into the ballistics, and you start taking it down with the ballistics. That's a pretty, in my opinion, I might be wrong here, but that would be, I think, a solution to not having all those, markers like going haywire. First to see blue, white, blue, blue, red, blue, white, and this mess. That wouldn't make any sense.
Why you're not wrong is that they should at least try some of these types of ideas. Whereas the kind of argument that we've had here is they've stuck with this thing that is clearly not working for too long. And the more they try, the quicker we'll find the solution that works the best. But we have continuously proven that this one probably does not.
Currently, it looks like, I don't know if you've ever launched a program that first opens a command prompt, and you will see like all those lines of text just popping up, making no sense at all. And that's exactly the same that's happening with the hit markers right now.
Yeah.
So they need to clear it all up and make it make more sense, or make like an audio solution. So for instance, when you hit a shield, the less
have you
sensitive
heard?
the shield becomes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, have you not heard the slot machine sounds?
No, I'm not talking about the slot machine sounds. I'm talking about like you hear for example, when the shield is full, you hear the sound like, like a boom.
I know what you
And
mean.
the more,
Yeah.
and the thinner
like
the shields get, the sharper the sound.
It's
something like that.
Kind of like this.
Yeah.
It might be.
Kind of like
It's been
and then
it's been like a couple of years since I played Valorant, but if I remember, that happens in Valorant. Is like as you shoot, like because you've got shield on top of your health, the more damage they take, the like higher pitch sound the damage that they take is, and then like you use that to know like how much damage you're doing basically.
Which, by the way, is literally a slot machine thing.
Some FPS.
FPS. I think it's Valorant. You're right.
Yeah. Because they don't even try to combine those solutions. You have it visual, but in an actual fight, you will just pay attention to all those.
You're just watching the pip.
Screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. You don't watch your crosshair. You're watching the pip that you're actually hitting. Not paying attention to whether you hit the shield or is it physical. You need to connect a different sense, like audio sense, hearing sound sense, not the visual sense, because you have a shit ton of happening on the screen already. You have all the MFDs, you have all the info about having rockets chasing after your ass, you have all this sorts of stuff, and then you also have those hit markers. I mean, come on, that's a bit too much. Give us a different solution. Audio, for example. I think that would be an awesome solution. So yeah, that's generally just my thought on all the things that are going on. Like the idea is good with the hit markers, but it's not enough. We need a more refined solution in this case.
Mhm.
As for mining, I don't really know what to say. I think it is pretty awesome that you can just press one button, scan, and you get all the info. Awesome. That's
Saving
what
time is nice.
miners really needed. Yeah.
Can't say anything bad about that.
Time is essential. In
Yeah.
Valheim, you just go and hit the rocks and you get what you need. And in this one, you scan. You need to decide. You need to start mining. You just waste hours of your time to get something. Especially when it came to gems. Now we have a much better solution, but still, yeah, there's ways to go.
Yep.
That's about it. What I wanted to say, honestly. So
Perfect, Darkness. All right,
That's
we'll
it
let
for
you go
me.
then.
Easy.
Catch you
Thank you
later.
very much.
All right,
thank
bye
you
now.
very much. Stay healthy.
You
Croncy.
too.
I'll try.
Bye
And
now.
you too, Mike, I guess.
Cheers,
Bye.
Thanks, man. Bye. You want to do these next two, or do you want to try and sneak in the other guy?
I think we got time.
Okay, wait. I'll put him in the
If
in the
you're
list.
good for time, I'm good for time.
I
yeah.
should be, yes. But we'll try to keep these like fairly short to fit it in. But yeah. If anybody gets long, we'll let them know. But we're gonna bring in the next caller, Jerry Smish. Jerry, can you hear us?
Jerry
Hello.
Smish, how we doing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Only wanted to talk about like two things pretty much. I wanted to talk about well, obviously I think the gun balance, and then I'll talk about the other later.
Sure.
Yeah, they really got to change how ballistics work. They've been stuck with this the same thing I think pretty much forever. I don't think they've ever had ballistics do anything else for as long as
They've
I've been
they've
around, at
changed
least.
like small things. It's always been Ken Pen shields, and then they've changed
Yeah.
other things around it, right? And it's like, well, maybe the initial philosophy is the thing that needs to get looked at, you know?
Yeah, for sure. They just it's kind of been stuck in this like weird spot because ballistics are just they have way more utility than shields at pretty much any opportunity because like they can pierce through armor to get the components. They can go through shields, and so like you guys have been saying, if they have them anywhere near as good as lasers, it's going to be just more useful to use ballistics because they also don't use pips. They also don't really have any like ammo isn't that expensive. It's pretty cheap, you know. And
Oh yeah, like it's the just annoyance of having to go get it is their balance idea, which Croncy is absolutely right to say is unfun.
Which also like sometimes the way that they've nerfed it is they've been like, cool, you get 50 shots a piece now.
Yeah,
it's like,
and you're just like, well, no, I'm not. Why would I use
cool,
it?
then I just won't use it ever then.
Yeah, every balance choice they've made around weapons is I use it or I don't. It's never been a situational thing. Ever.
It's never I use it a little more or I use it a little less.
No, it's just I use it or I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess on big ships they could balance it so like the big ships have like a lot less in their ammo thing, and you have to like manually refill it from like the reserves. Like you have to have someone grab it and drag it up.
That's
like,
cool,
for the
actually,
little
in my
ships-
opinion.
Yeah, for sure. But like for the little ships, you can't really do anything even close to that. So you can't balance them around that realistically. I think the whoever said adding distortion to lasers, that'd be a good.
That was
move.
Croncy.
But, like,
Yeah, so I said
yeah.
that for reference. I meant it just because like it feels like lasers are a default, and then you've got this other one that's like a lot more complex. And I never really understood why lasers and distortion were a separate.
It's dual purpose.
You know?
Instead of saying complex, it has two. It does two things where a laser does one thing, right? Just to simplify it. A laser should do two things.
Yeah, you could also have like lasers that do like multiple specific things, like just base damage to shields and distortion, or like base damage to shields and like deeper penetration,
Yeah,
Like
but
you can
again,
have them. Yeah,
if we want to really have that conversation, then shields have to have equal health on average to armor. So if the thing does more damage to shields, but one does more damage to armor and hull, for example, you're never going to use the laser, because the thing that does the damage to shields, because shields last for 5 seconds, but the hull lasts for 10. So you're
I was like
always going to use.
dependent on stuff like recharge rate, because that's the unique thing that shields have that hull doesn't, is being able to heal itself.
True, but the game has proven its inability to make that a viable thing in fights, because against NPCs, yes, against players, no. Players will maintain your shields being down. But NPCs you can run from. Players you really can't. That much at least.
yeah. I think lasers are just the default because, like, Chris Roberts' vision for what a space game is lasers in space. That's just what you have. Like Wing Commander had a lot of lasers. There wasn't nearly as many like any ballistics I can think of. I just think that's what he thinks is like
He had
the
ballistics.
default. Yeah, but like I feel like most of the ships had tended to have a lot more lasers and stuff. From what I remember, it's been a minute since I played it.
Yeah, and it was a combination.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, I didn't hear you guys bring it up in the podcast, is from the SCL this week. No, not the SCL, the
ISC.
whatever. Is distribution centers. They're getting redropped.
Yeah, the very first shot is a 409 landing at a distribution center. And I was like, I didn't know CRG knew these still existed in the game.
Yeah, they just redropped them,
so
and
mad.
if they just redropped them so the missions that you do there don't break.
Yeah. I feel like distribution centers are just such a wasted spot of potential. Like
They were. It's. I would argue that like what they wanted to happen to distribution centers is kind of, at least in part, how Hathor, and actually like very very Hathor. I think the way that people play Hathor is what distribution centers were supposed to be. Is like people will come down for a major mission, which is like doing Hathor. Sometimes they'll come down for like an eliminate mission or whatever, right? And then, yeah, their entire chat both chats going crazy on that weird dude.
Yeah, I timed them out. What? That was weird as fuck. Don't do that shit, man.
But yeah, it was like distribution centers with this, when they announced those at the LA SitCon, and they were like, here's these DC centers, they're gonna be mission hubs, there's gonna be raids and all this sort of stuff, and then just like people spent one patch playing them, and that was it.
I loved cargo hauling to and from them.
Yeah, I
actually
liked the
that.
idea that I could be doing cargo hauling while someone else on the next landing pad over is doing a missing person or an FPS mission or something. I thought that was really cool.
I
But,
thought it was like the most
then-
immersive
yeah.
hauling, because it was a distribution
Yeah.
center. It was like actually a hauling place.
It certainly felt a lot cooler than just what it had been forever, which is just go to the station.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they also like they put so much work into the environments of these districts.
Yeah, they're huge. They're gigantic.
It just feels unused.
They were.
Well, one of the things that frustrates me as well is they dropped like right before 4.0. So, naturally nobody used them after 4.0. But when 4.0 was dropping, they had that the whole invasion thing into Stanton, in which, they took over the stations and stuff. And because they were like blocking off supplies, but like there was no missions for that at distribution centers. Like I would have thought these like people whose whole job was to block off the distribution of supplies would go to distribution centers, which are these huge
Crazy thought
FPS
to have.
maps. Yeah, like
Why would we do that?
Huge FPS maps with like tons of like places to do cargo. I don't know, and then even like any large scale mission since, there's been nothing at distribution centers. They haven't even mentioned them.
Someone in chat made a good point of like when they initially showed us like all the concepts of distribution centers, the underground that they had the idea for, which is like this is where your raids will take place. This is where some of your combat missions or whatever will take place. They used those assets for the ASC facilities, and it was dope. It was very very cool. But it's like, well, why? Why didn't you just make some of these distribution centers, these ASD facilities, and do it there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's really all I wanted to talk about was those two
Mhm.
things. So I'll let other people have a shot today, I guess.
All right, Jerry. Well, thank you, and yay, distribution centers, I guess.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Seriously,
all
cool,
right,
mate.
all right, man.
Have a good one.
Talk to you. All right. Lethal Force is next. Lethal, can you hear us?
How we doing,
And
Lethal?
what do you want to talk about?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
Good.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
good.
uh, I wanted to talk about you're talking about the Rico Battaglia missions, and I
Mhm.
missed that. I'm sorry. And how there's not a lot of meaning in the game, and how because I've been so frustrated with how it's not been running very well, and there's been I don't know, just issues doing everything as per usual. I should be used to it by now with this game. I've been playing this game called MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, and one
Mhm.
thing I'd love to see, when you talk about issues with a lack of money sinks, is in that game there's monthly taxes you have to pay.
Mhm.
There's other charges, like when you lose weapons on your ship, you don't lose the ship or you don't lose the mech, but the weapons are permanently destroyed and then you have to go and buy new ones. So even if you were you get the mech back and you rebuild it, you have to have extra weapons in store so that, it adds like more for you to spend your money on. So it's like, oh, I really
Mhm.
don't want to lose my mech because I have this high level weapon on it and that'll be gone forever. And I feel like that would be an awesome concept to see, especially right now when they could do anything. They could, like with the ballistics thing, they could change it, make it wild, and they should right now in the current state of the game.
Okay, yeah. I mean, didn't Sean Tracy work on that game or a part of it or something? One of our Star Citizen main guys. I think he was a part of that game.
I'm gonna find out.
It was like a
That's
modder or
pretty
something.
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, chat will probably know, but please don't make me pay taxes in video games. Somebody in chat says that's so unnecessary. Okay, well, let's use the biggest example of one of the most overpowered broken things that they've said about base building is you place your base in Stanton and nobody can ever raid it or destroy it. So what other mechanic can you do other than pay taxes on it? So they have to happen in some capacity at least, right? Hangar fees need to be a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, the more hangars you have ships in throughout the system, every hangar is a payable tax you have to have. So it makes you have to think like, oh, I have like 30 ships and they're in all these different hangars across Stanton. It makes you have to either save your money or try and make more money to maintain that. It adds more meaning. At least that's just me.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And of course, yes, a lot of people will be like, well, what if I take a break from the game? Then I don't know, make it so that when you're not playing, it doesn't happen. And so when you are actively playing the game, it accelerates the time you have to pay them. So that, I don't know. They could
Well,
play around with
there's also always the classic some games, some live service games, MMOs in particular, will do a thing of well, if you don't pay, it just locks you out. It doesn't then charge you again. It doesn't start racking up fees permanently. It's
Yeah,
just
that would suck.
until you pay it. Yeah, you come back and it's like, sorry, you're in debt. Actually, you owe us billions of dollars. But yeah, it'll
I'm
just
in
lock
debt
you out.
for video game money and real life money from buying these ships.
Yeah, well, they'll just lock you out, and then it's like you pay it once, and then you're back in, and you're where you were when you were playing previously.
Yeah, absolutely. And like with the ballistics and lasers conversation, I'm a big fan of the Expanse. Man, do I get excited when I see those Gatling guns just fire at other ships. Like, it's awesome.
Fuck
I
yeah.
love ballistics. They're sick.
Yeah.
But balance is more important. I don't know, do what Halo does and make it so the ballistics do less damage versus shields, but more physical damage. And then lasers
Yep.
do more shield damage, but less physical damage. And then people could
Mhm.
mix and match,
But again, they balance the shield part. CIG doesn't balance the shield part. That's the weird thing that we have right now. They don't balance the shield. So then whatever does the most damage to your hull is going to be the thing. It's always they have put themselves into this corner where it's more complicated than just do this. But it's not that fucking complicated in this case. It's really simple. But it's just got a little bit more layers than that. That's all. The shields need to play more of a factor, or not a factor, like whatever, but just it's so goofy right now. That's and right now has existed, I think, for the entire existence of the game. Like even the first Arena Commander. So, yeah. It was shields go down and then you do damage, and it's like, but the shields go down super quickly. It's like, maybe taking a look at that would make sense.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
They've just constantly, like, so I bought into the game in like 2014, and then it never came out, and I forgot about it. And then I don't know, my algorithm just avoided it for me until like a year ago. My friend's like, hey, you can play this game and like you can fly around and do stuff. I'm like, oh,
bad friend.
Shit.
Bad friend.
I know, it's
bad friend.
What an asshole.
Yep.
But
block that
I didn't
friend.
Yeah. I didn't realize, like, you one thing you said, like, there's been so many years that people have made changes and then gone back on them, and new people work there. Like, how many times have we been through the ballistic versus lasers shift?
Every single patch. Every single patch.
Oh no.
So it's not the weapons necessarily.
Yeah, it's
more.
It's also
there's
like
more than that.
There's just things that they haven't changed though, even within that, where it's like, well, why not? Why have you not looked at this and tested it on, a big PU scale, right? And see how it works in that stage, because you keep on. It's what I'm talking about. The initial design philosophy of how they want ballistics and stuff to work may not be it. That might be the problem. That, like, you can still bring in all the complexity that you want, all the variations that you want, and the abilities of players that you want, by just bringing this other thing back and making this a little bit simpler.
Yeah. One thing that's really, really weird with penetration values in this game is that they're tied to damage. That's so strange. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard the game World of Tanks, but there's the guns do damage, and then they have pen values. And I played that for a long time, and it's weird to combine them because it kind of restricts you. It kind of just forces bigger guns to also have the best pen when, like in Tarkov, where the higher pen ammo does less damage. If they would separate them, they'd have way more freedom to try and like balance things, like make ballistics, let them have different ammo types, let you, of course, make it simple. Please don't physicalize every fucking bullet, but but have like, oh, I'm loading this ammo that does terrible damage against shields but does a lot of armor damage, and then you can work as a team with your bro, and he can bring like lasers that do really good shield damage but not as much armor damage, and then you have like a synergy with your team. Or you can just mix and match on the single ship if you're by yourself.
I'm just keep it simple, man. Like, we've seen there's so many games that have done this. Like, what I want to see is iterations that do not create a scenario where it's I only want one gun. And you make the best point of what we've been suffering with in the last 2-ish years, where they've been doing this power creep thing with the ships they want to sell. All of a sudden, the class of ships that used to use size 3 lasers started using size 4. And then the size 4s were using size 5. And now we have an Anvil Odin with 47 size 12s. And it's like, well, why are those immediately better? Because they'll have higher pen value. They'll go through the shields immediately, blah, 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 right? And it's just, that's our problem in a lot of ways. So
I hate the Odin. I'm not an Odin fan. Like, aesthetics aside.
Yeah,
like,
I don't hate the Odin. I hate the fact that it's very clear what you were trying to do there. You make something incredibly powerful to justify a $5,000 price tag on a spaceship. And
exactly. I don't know.
You justified it, but at what cost?
It would have been cool if they had released an Idris competitor, or like a Polaris competitor, or like, increase the options, because it's like when you're doing capital play, it's Polaris, Idris, that's it, and that's okay. But add more in like
for
the
now.
same
For now.
field. Yeah, for now.
I think it's worth noting as well. I think with it's we're getting a bit off topic, but like with large ships,
I'm sorry.
I think no, it's fine because it's an interesting conversation. I think it's with large ships, the variations are going to come, but people are more likely to buy the like cheaper variation stuff. So like a new light fighter, a new heavy fighter, people are more likely to buy that than they are to buy Polaris 2.0. Where it's just
It has
like,
to be
here is the
new
same,
and special
you know?
and better and
Yeah.
unique and different. Like this Gray's ship will probably sell pretty well. Super different.
Yeah.
Also
So
looks really
expect
powerful.
those variations to come. Expect those variations to come, but because of the development time of them and all that sort of stuff, they are in the future. Like it's something that they will, I am sure, make a crap ton of money out of later. But right now, they're going to make arguably more money in making these smaller ships and more variations of those.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Cool. Well, if that's
Well,
everything,
thank you very much.
yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
all. I'll let you guys do your thing. I appreciate you guys.
All right,
Thank you
Lethal.
Awesome.
for contributing.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, man. We'll
Yeah.
talk to you soon. Don't be nervous.
Bye-bye.
It's just
Catch up.
nerds talking about games. Talk to you later, dude.
True.
All right, brother.
Bye.
Bye.
Catch you, man.
All right, next caller is Ultimate Penguin. Penguin, can you hear us? Next
doing,
and
Penguin?
last, by the way.
I can.
Cool.
Lovely.
What do you want to talk about?
Howdy.
I guess just a really quick bounce on about piggyback off of the ballistics versus lasers. The problem is that they both fill the same role, right? They aren't different. And as long as they both kind of are equal and do the same thing, one is always just going to have slightly better numbers. Because the way it works in the other very similar games is lasers are for opening and then ballistics are closing, and you can specialize one or the other.
Yep.
And I think the problem is they sold so many ships that are only lasers or only ballistics that you can't force everyone to have mixed loadouts and have that be the best.
What ship is only only anything?
The Wolf.
So
I
you
guess I don't know if
you
that's-
name one ship. You
Okay,
named
well, I'm
one.
not that
There's
familiar with
200.
the whole. Okay, I'm not that familiar with the entire thing, but then you have like the Ares.
2 ships.
That's a
There's 200.
but also the area is a different can of worms.
Yeah.
I would say that that's still not like I still don't think that matters. Like even in this sort of situation, you brought up
I
the
probably
relevant part of,
overestimated
like,
that. Yeah, I'm not.
Well, it's like you brought up a relevant
Mhm.
thing, which is like, yeah, they do the same role. Damage ship, the end.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of it. And so, yeah, when you're just balancing between those two, and especially when one of them has a special ability of sometimes I hit you for harder, basically, right? Because I'm hitting.
Maybe that
faster
affects me
shields.
more because I did buy a Wolf in game.
Sure. Because
I'm
I
feeling
think
that
like
harder.
even in that situation where let's assume every ship in the game was all bespoke weapons, you can't change them.
Mhm.
Hold
If
on,
you
the
still have
Wolf's
the
not even.
situation of, like-
You know what? I'm not gonna. I'm nitpicking.
fine,
But
it's
but
fine,
the
'cause it's
Wolf
not-
isn't an
it's-
example
yeah.
because you can actually swap the weapons now. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah. But assume
Well,
every
yeah,
ship
well,
in the
you can't
game
bring
had bespoke
both.
weapons.
You can't bring a
If-
mixed loadout, I think.
No.
It doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't matter if every
Mhm.
single ship in the game all had bespoke weapons. If you
Oh, you
still
can.
had the situation of I can damage everything, but sometimes I damage shields more, sometimes I damage armor more. That will then give you the option of, well, I'll change my ship depending on what I want to do, and you're still able to do the thing in baseline. It's going to change it's going to change your preparation, but it's presumably will make it a lot easier to balance within because
Mhm.
instead of once again having these like random chances that you're going to hit the hull, you're just changing. Well, you know, ballistics are a bit too OP right now. Let's up armor values. Done. Right? Like it's a much easier thing to mess around with and still have you feel like you are making a impactful choice based on, you know, how you build your ship or whatever.
Yeah, and then at the same time you can also start doing more unique things where certain manufacturers have more shields, certain manufacturers have more armor, and then you can balance like this ship is dying more than we would like to this type of weapon. All right, here's how we like the levers that they have are more DPS or less DPS, and that's it. And it's just like it's too simple and too they don't have enough to work on there.
Yeah, like
But instead of actually building out the game, they just keep going through this hamster wheel of balance that never ends, and it's exhausting. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired.
mhm. And because the classic game balance thing is you have 3 needs, pick 2.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
right now the 2 things you can pick between are fire rate and alpha damage.
And range is the third, but range never matters because
Isn't
Yeah.
real. And they
yeah,
made it even less real with the radar changes.
exactly. So
That's when I talk about weapon balance, and I want to talk about Siege of Orson a little bit too, because I
sure.
never got to play the original. So my impression of Siege of Orson was that it was going to be tactical strike groups, but for ground focused gameplay.
Okay.
And it seems like
S-
they've instead just turned it
Sort of.
into ASD facilities, but outdoors.
It can't,
Okay.
like your impression of it is not of what it was originally. That's not like
I've not
super
played
inaccurate.
it.
I like that description. I haven't
I've
played the new one, but like
I've
yeah,
only
of
heard about it's only FPS. There used to
mhm.
be ships, and now there's not. And now it's only 4, and it's a hard limit.
I will say the ship section was like a means to an end. It
Yeah.
It
didn't
was
feel
it
like
was
a
only cheese mechanics, basically.
Okay.
true, but it was also like I'm only really doing the ship mechanic to get to the next FPS location. So it
Mhm.
sort of felt like a transition period when you would do it was like when you get to the admin platform, right?
Yeah. But at the same time, I was like, "Oh, am I finally gonna see for the first time ever a tank and a dropship?"
Oh, sorry, I completely forgot about that. That used to be my favorite thing. Because, like, yeah, all of the C2s would have, like, a Nova Tonk or a whatever on
Yeah.
them, and then, like, flying over the admin terminal and then dropping out the back with the Tonk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go cry. I'm sorry. That's so
Yeah.
nostalgic already.
Yeah, so I thought it was gonna be tactical strike groups where you'd have a couple people in ships and most people on the ground, and it would be the inverse of that. Um,
Nope.
Right. Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think so.
that's obviously not the experience.
and have have they hinted at like the 4-person limit being like a current technical limitation, or that's how it's designed?
I
I think
don't
that's the
know.
intent. Yeah, I don't know, but I think that's the intended design from the way that they were writing the patch notes and stuff is like,
The
we are
designer
making this a 4-person mission.
the designer went on Twitter a couple days ago and was like, "I'm so excited for you guys to see Siege. I put so much work into this. I'm super proud of it." And then I didn't see the comments, but he came in my Twitch chat and was like, "That's what I get for posting on the internet." And apparently people were just shitting on him. I feel bad for him because he's a good kid, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried it, so I can't say anything on it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like, I've never met a game dev who wasn't a hard worker. It's are they being allowed to work on the right
It's because they get
things?
fired, and so you can't meet them.
True. God.
He's also the same dev that made Hathor, so
Mhm. Gotcha. And because what I thought of Instinct was going to be, Instancing was going to be like, hey, with 600 player servers, we now can't have. It's like a big strain
Yeah.
to have like 10 Idrises in the same area. I thought instancing was going to be the
Yep.
way to focus, like Hathor would be just an instance, and they could match you up with similar sized groups, or even start mission instances. Because didn't they have like a battlefield mode in the past?
they
It was
So
like
wanted
Base
to.
Commander.
Yeah. So what was it called? Theaters of War was supposed to be like your battlefield
Mhm.
game like mode. It didn't go great. It had a couple of playtests, and then they reused those assets for Hathor, and then Hathor was dope as hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when I thought of instancing, you take an elevator, it's like, oh, and then you go there, and then it's like you have maybe only up to a medium hangar, but your entire group is there and gets to pull their own stuff. But it seems like it's all just only ground.
And just like puzzles, right? Like that's what
Yeah.
I think it is, like puzzles on the ground. If the puzzles are cool, I guess it's fine, but I don't know. I have zero excitement for Siege. I will not do it. I'm not playtesting it at all in Evo. I'll do it once when Wave 1 comes out, so it's like exciting and interesting as a content thing for stream, and then I will do it once on live. And then if I actually enjoy it, I'll do it again. But
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where I think I know my lane in the game, and I want to mine, and I want to craft, and these other things, unless they tie into that, I'm not really interested. And I think that's okay.
Yeah, and it kills me because Orison feels like it's made to have a lot of people on the ground and a couple people in spaceships because the spaceships can fly under you. And that's like I was like, oh, well, that's perfect for a little like a ground combat mission.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
And because on the topic of scanning, they gotta make it easier to scan ships or at least identify. Because like, dude, I'm new to the game, and every time I see a ship, it takes me 15 seconds to learn what the name of it is.
I saw somebody type it in Twitch. I think it was Mr. Kraken. The stuff we talked about mining also applies to ships, and I meant to bring it up, and I didn't.
Oh,
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
they're finally realizing the scanning sucks. It is bad mechanic. Yay.
Only took a very long time, but that's why I never
Until
stopped
they
yelling.
do scanning again next year, where it goes back and brings back all of the garbage, but in a new UI.
You don't get to thumbs up these comments and then tell me that I'm overly negative, because I've just repeat this stuff over and over again until they finally get changed. If that's negative, I don't know what to tell you.
It's also, I did see when we were talking about the scanning, a bunch of people were being like, well, what if it's a mistake? What if this isn't on purpose? That's actually okay, because then CRG see us say, thank God you fixed scanning. And then they can be like, all right, well, let's just make that the thing then.
But it was my idea. Somebody was like, no, it was my idea. But yeah. All right, Penguin, is there anything else real quick before we let you go? Because my wife just got home and it's lunchtime.
Nope, I also got to get going.
Perfect.
Thanks
all right, man.
Lovely.
Of
Awesome.
course.
We'll
We'll catch you later.
Have a good one.
Bye. All right. And that was Answer the Call with a Croncy. Let's go.
Yay. I won't be sick next week, right, guys?
Yeah, hopefully not. But yeah, hopefully there's something exciting to talk about. If not, because it's
the patch was released. They said the patch will release this.
That is not exciting. We already know everything about it, and we've tested it. There's nothing exciting there, really, right? So hopefully there's some more stuff.
Sure.
Drama or something. Because if you're not there, that's what I need.
We might get the Basher though, right? Or
True.
Is that definitely not 3.9?
Who knows? I mean, that's the next sale. Whenever the next sale is, that's the Basher. Because that's what they just do it in this order. I mean, at this point, it's
plus
like,
it's on the 4.9 splash screen.
So true, it's on the 4.9 splash screen. So yeah, 100% 4.9. Duh. Yeah. So you'll see every Star Citizen content creator doing a giveaway for one in approximately 5 days. So there you go. But I think that's where we'll leave it, and we will catch you guys next week. Hopefully, the two of us, and hopefully the scanning thing sticks, and they do more stuff for mining in 4.9, 4.10, and all that jazz. And we'll see. And we're not going to forget, though,
to answer the call.
Catch you later, everybody. Thanks for watching.